And welcome everyone to the Riverside County Board Brief as we give you a brief look at what took place during today's Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting. My name is Pep Fernandez, and joining us here at the beginning of the show, Amy McKenzie. She's the Director of Communications for the Riverside County District Attorney's Office. And Amy, during today's board meeting, there was an item to approve more funding for the Faces of Fentanyl campaign. If you watch the board brief, if you follow along with Riverside County, you are aware of the Faces of Fentanyl campaign. So Amy, first off, just to kind of describe what this campaign is all about and why it's so important here in Riverside County.
Sure, this is phase 2 of our campaign, Faces of Fentanyl, and it is about educating the community, the residents of Riverside County about the deadly dangers of fentanyl.
So this was a campaign created completely by county workers in-house and then obviously marketed to the public so people are aware of the dangers of fentanyl. So Amy, when this ad came together, and Rob, our director, go ahead whenever you're ready and play some of the video so we can see that PSA. It really came together with a lot of creative people here at the county making it happen.
Yes, this is a multi-department, countywide campaign, and the content was created in-house by the various different department creatives within the county of Riverside.
Yeah, so the additional funding going directly towards the advertising, the marketing of this campaign. So Amy, what exactly does that look like? Well, where could we might see some of this advertising?
Sure, it consists of the PSA video that you're watching now, as well as social media content, graphics, motion graphics, billboards. And this next phase, we're going to concentrate as also in some in-person events as well, like a town hall.
Oh, very good. Okay. And then as we're looking at not only English, but we also had one in Spanish as well for our friends across Riverside County. Amy, this reinforces the fact that this is very important to the Riverside County Board of Supervisors. I know the Faces of Fentanyl campaign has been out there for a while, but it's important to them that they continue this campaign, correct?
Yes, we're very grateful for the Board of Supervisors' support in getting out this information across Riverside County.
All right, that's Amy McKenzie. She's the Director of Communications for the DA's office. Amy, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, now let's go to some video from earlier today during today's board meeting as we talk about the Public Defender's Office. There is the Public Defender, Steve Harmon, as he was giving the board more information about the CARE Act. Now, this is a state program, but it'll be spearheaded by the Public Defender's Office and Steve Harmon's team. Steve is about to explain exactly what this is, but it'll require additional resources and staffing from the County of Riverside. So we're going to hear from Steve Harmon, the Public Defender, as well as our Chief Executive Officer, Jeff Van Wagenen. Take a look.
I would say that Care Court, I think, is offering and brings to the state and to Riverside County a great deal of hope for a new way to deal with people who really need our help. The people that will be hopefully benefited by Care Court are very needy people. They need help. They're sick people in many ways, and Care Court is an attempt to help them.
Our participation also resulted in more funding coming to those Cohort 1 counties. The participation of Steve Harmon and Judith Guan in our statewide efforts in advocacy to make sure that there was funding for the attorneys. Steve Harmon and Judith were on our team before even the public defender was recognized as the preferred partner in representing people in Care Court, and it's their advocacy that did that. Supervisor Perez, to your question, if the funding goes away, Care Court's the law of the land. So until such time as the legislature ends Care Court, we're going to have to continue to deal with it. But by being in Cohort 1, by being one of the counties that helped shape it, we're in a much better position to advocate for those things that we need.
Yeah, it could be a great thing, and you just heard Jeff Van Wagenen, our CEO, mentioning Judith Guan. She is the Assistant Public Defender. We had a chance to speak with Judith during today's Riverside County Board meeting to get a little bit more details on what exactly this Court Act is, this CARE Act, I should say, and she explains it a little bit better and why this is important. And now join us here on the Riverside County Board Brief, and just outside the board chambers, we have Judith Guan. She is the Assistant Public Defender. And today during the board meeting, we had an item where Steve Harmon, the Public Defender, and our CEO, Jeff Van Wagenen, spoke about the CARE Act. So Judith, first off, what is the CARE Act, and what is the role of the Public Defender in this as well?
So then the CARE Act, thank you so much for having me, first of all. So CARE Act is an act that's been legislated by the state to provide support and treatment to those who are very vulnerable, very ill, very impaired, and often suffer in homelessness. So today, the Board of Supervisors gave the Public Defender's Office the authorization to accept funding to assist them as their legal representatives. So what we're going to be doing as the public defenders, as the attorneys representing them, would be to encourage them to voluntarily participate in care plans, and that would include medication and housing, and it would be something that they need, that they want, and we will be removing barriers for them to get the help that they need and to give them the hope that they need.
All right, that's Judith Guan, the Assistant Public Defender, talking more about the CARE Act here on the board brief. All right, thank you, Judith. And I should have mentioned this is a new program from the state, just a couple of weeks old, that they recently implemented. Now, we had one presentation during today's board meeting, and let's go ahead and take a look at that video. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and this was brought forth by Supervisor Karen Spiegel. Here you can see in the middle of your screen, we had several different agencies, departments represented, including the Riverside University Health System, also RUHS Safe Clinic, Cohia Coalition, Safe Family Justice Center, and the Riverside County District Attorney's Office as well, bringing attention to domestic violence awareness. We had a chance to hear from Supervisor Karen Spiegel as she spoke more about this and why it's important, not only this month, but all the time.
Right here is a tremendous support for any victims of domestic violence, but it's your choice to step forward or not. You have a support system when you step forward. We hope that you take that up, particularly if you have children in the situation. These children should not be seeing the kind of behavior that happens. And secondly, and most importantly, if children do, they very often repeat that cycle. And we want to make sure we get them out of that and that there is less opportunity for them to think that that is normal behavior.
But behind all of us, there's another group, another partnership of partners, big ecosystem of individuals in our community throughout Riverside County that are working tirelessly, not just to prevent, but also respond quickly and swiftly through our law enforcement partners, through our DA office, to the health systems as well, the nurses that are incredible. So I want to acknowledge that because I know there's a couple of us here, but there's so much out there in the community in Riverside, and thank you to the supervisor for always supporting, coming out.
And you can watch the entire presentation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month right now on the RivCo TV YouTube channel. My name is Pep Fernandez. We'll see you next time on the Riverside County Board Brief.